Dagnall is a moron for going small at the end of game 1, but Carlisle is brilliant for going small at the end of game 1. I think that is the greatest tweet I've ever read. No games of hoops on a Saturday night, but we got one on Sunday night. We're going to preview it now, get into some things. I also want to say in the intro, not the outro today, I had a realization on Shabbos that I did not realize, and I had no idea. Max is the producer. Max produces the podcast, and every day, Levi, I thank you for producing, and not once did you say, actually, Max is the producer. So I want to thank you, Max, for producing. I want to apologize to you, Max, for not thanking you for producing until now. And let's get into the pod. My name is Shlomo Stark.
My name is Levi Jacob.
And this is the daily basketball recap in 15 minutes or less. Levi, first thing I want to say is we need a day, maybe two, between finals games. I'm like itching. It's like I really could have used the game last night. Did not feel the need for this extra day. I also, it's really bad for the daily basketball recap just in general when there's not free basketball to recap.
Yeah.
We're struggling for content. Listeners, reach out if you have any ideas for things we should recap. You know, how long do you want to talk about Zach Edey being out for a little bit of next season? Recapped, done. Let's get. There's not so much to say. It's like, all right, we'll see what happens. Indiana plays OKC tonight. OKC is favored by 11 points. Indiana won by 1 point in game 1. There is, I think, two options in this game, and you can, well, really there's 1,000 options, but I think two realistic options to me is number 1 is OKC wins by 20, and number 2 is Indiana wins by 3 or less. So if you're a betting person, if you think OKC is going to win, I would take the over. And if you think Indiana's going to win, well, obviously, if you think Indiana's going to win, you take the under. But if you think OKC is going to win, you shouldn't take the under, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm going to predict. I told this to my mom, I think. I think it was my mom. I'm going to predict Indiana wins tonight. And not because I think if I would actually putting money on it, I would put money on OKC winning. But it's more fun to root for. I also think that nobody thinks they're going to win. And that's when they win. They've been counted out all season. They went up 2-0 in the Bucks series. They went up 2-0 in the Cleveland series. And they went up 2-0 in the Knicks series. And nobody thought they would be able to do that. Did they go up 2-0 in the Knicks series, or did the Knicks win game 2?
No, they won game 2. Pacers won game 2.
Yeah, they did, right? Yeah. So I actually think that the Pacers, I think Oklahoma City is going to win, but I'm predicting that the Pacers win. Meaning if tomorrow OKC wins, I don't get to say I was right. But if the Pacers win, I get to say I was right. I just think like this team, every time you think they're done, they're just not.
Yeah.
And yeah. I got Pacers.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be Oklahoma City in my book. Just because when you saw in the Denver series, Mark Dagnall kind of, I was talking to my cousin about this on Friday, and he's actually going to be at the game tonight. So please,
let's look out for him.
Send us some cool footage, you know?
Yeah, please.
Or let's ask the Oklahoma City Titantron to pan to him at some point. But Mark Dagnall does this thing where he kind of plays the off season like it's the regular season in a weird way, or maybe he plays the regular season like it's the off season. In game 3 of last series, resting the starters, right? Like towards the end of the game,
the second quarter, basically. No,
yeah, like he was like, okay, well, there's more games in this series. We're gonna come back and win those games. There's no point in like tiring my players out now. And also in the Denver series, there was a lot of like bizarre minutes, bizarre decisions that were made, and everybody was talking about how Rick Carlisle like outcoached Mark Daigneault in this game, in this
Okay.
last game. Yeah,
Steve No, or Steph No, I'm not sure I'm remembering this correctly. He's a senior NBA writer for Sporting News. Let's tag him on social with this stuff because maybe he could repost. He had a great tweet that is summarizing what you're saying, and I just want to read this tweet because he summarized it perfectly.
go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be better than what I'm saying, so go for it.
This is what I've learned this playoffs. Dagnall, is that how you pronounce his name?
It's as good as anybody's best guess. So yeah, go for it.
Okay. Dagnall is a dummy for changing his lineups too early. Tibbs is a dummy for changing his lineups too late. Dagnall lost game 3 by fouling up 3, but fouling up 3 is ruining the game because it's too good of a strategy. Missoula is an idiot for not calling timeout and letting Tatum go ISO, but Carlisle is the greatest coach ever, had a stroke of genius when he didn't call a timeout and had Halliburton go ISO. Dagnall is a moron for going small at the end of game 1, but Carlisle is brilliant for going small at the end of game 1. I think that is the greatest tweet I've ever read.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It's totally based on personnel. Like meaning that's part of a good coach is knowing how to do things, but at the same time, like when it works for you, everyone's like, oh, the strategy is amazing. Like with the fouling up 3, I was like, if LeBron did that, everyone would be like, wow, what a master stroke of genius. LeBron fouled up 3. Like it if it works out for you in the situation, it's great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Um, Going small for Dagnall was the problem was you saw it like as a compounding factor that the Thunder could not rebound effectively. If you look at the rebounds, listening to the Bill Simmons podcast after this game from Thursday night with Zach Lowe, they had like 20 more rebounds than the Thunder did, and that you really have a hard time winning games like that, especially when the turnover ratio was like the turnover rate was like totally different. The Thunder had a
You
hard
don't
time scoring off of the
you don't need
yeah.
to listen to their podcast. You can listen to ours. We spoke about the rebounding and turnovers too.
I think it was about turnovers. I don't remember if we spoke about the rebounding, but regardless, I just feel like he was it's very easy to write him off and be like, "What are you doing? You're crazy." Especially as Chet and Hartenstein are two of the most like pronounced big men in this final series. And I feel like Lou Dort was playing such a fantastic defensive game that like it was like, let's just see what happens. It's game 1. This is the game that we have the most flexibility to mess around and experiment a little bit and see what we can bring out of this, right? Like you didn't hear much about Caruso either. Kason Wallace was on Halliburton at that last defensive possession when Halliburton hit the game-winning shot. Like I think that he's experimenting. I don't think it's necessarily a smart thing or what the Thunder want to see, but at the same time, like I said, at the end of last game or after last game, I don't. This didn't make me worry as much as I think a lot of other people did.
Right.
So I think that when push comes to shove, they end up making the correct the correct adjustments, and they figure it out. And especially in the first half of game 1, the Thunder were killing them on the boards, killing them on the defensive side of the ball. Chet was 2 for 9. Usually, he would kind of let the players like figure out that maybe Chet was feeling off. Who knows? But I think that I think this game will be more indicative of what the rest of the series will look like. And I'm not going to count the Pacers out. Like I said, I still think that it's in 6, but I just want to see good basketball, and I think it really, really will be. So I'm excited.
I love it. The most NBA thing for it to happen is because it's so unpredictable. Is like Thunder win, but SGA scores like 4 points. That's like so. It's like what This is they're gonna shock us. Anyway, we still have a couple minutes to get into the 15 minutes or less. You had mentioned to me offline that you had a Giannis related topic you wanted to discuss. You tried explaining to me what we were going to talk about, and I said, "Stop! I want the authentic reaction. I want the live reaction." So Levy has some sort of Giannis take. I don't know exactly what it's going to be. Either we talk about it too much, don't talk about it enough. A trade proposal. I don't know what it is. Levy, the floor is yours. What do you want to talk about right now?
It's not so overly complicated actually, which is the funniest part of me now having this like I feel like it's like I get that one part in the play that everyone's like waiting for me to say, and I'm like, done, you know. I just wanted to
Please,
mention that
may I
we
have some more? That's the line. That always
I just
steals the.
wanted to I wanted to mention that we don't mention as much. Like we talk about Giannis often enough. And I also said to my cousin on Friday that I feel like this Thunder team, it's not as uh, there's not as much distance between this Thunder team and the field essentially. And I wanna get to that place where it was like, you know, LeBron's assumed arrival at the Eastern Conference Finals or the finals every single year, or the Warriors every single year. I want to get to that place. I think that win or lose, the Thunder should probably go after Giannis. That being said, because they also have like a lot of assets to be able to do so, and that would really separate them out. That being said, we don't talk about Giannis and the trade proposals or the murmurings, the rumors, whatever, what have you, about Giannis as much as the uh, national media does, whatever you want to call it. I think because it's similar to our conversation we had earlier in the year. Until there's news, I feel like we kind of just there's not much to say other than like he might get traded here, he might get traded there, he might just stay. Like it's like what's the noteworthy recap part of this when it's like, you know, then especially like the Bobby Marks comes out of the woodwork and he's like, actually that team can't trade for him. Like, you know, like people get really excited about this stuff. And I think that I just wanted to explain it on the podcast because people might be wondering why we're not talking about it because it is such newsworthy buzz. Thoughts, Shalom?
Completely agree with you. I thought you were going a different way. I thought you were going to say we should talk about it more, and then I was going to respond with what you just said. But you said exactly what I think and hope and love and dream. When there is Giannis news, we will announce Giannis news. I just saw a report saying that he is staying in Milwaukee. Mazel tov. Great. That was the daily basketball recap in 15 minutes or less. I want to thank you, Levi, for co-hosting and not for producing. I want to thank you, Max, for producing. Max, way to get back in my thank yous, baby. Welcome back, producer Max, who only left for a lot shorter than I realized, by the way. I thought he was very active on the WhatsApp group, did not realize he was producing. And I want to thank you for listening. We'll see you tomorrow after game 2.